My next guests are taking on quite the challenge. I'd rather them than me. Next week, travelling to the Sahara to walk 52 miles in just 2 days across the desert is to raise awareness and funds for motor neuron disease. And Darrell Jackson and Heather Sampson from Basildon are in the studio now. Hello.
Hello, Johnny. How are you?
I'm very well, and it's lovely to see you both. And gosh, what a challenge you've got ahead of you.
Yes, we are excited.
Really excited, very, very nervous. Obviously, we leave next week, so next Thursday we leave on a plane over to the Sahara. So, nervous, excited, and can't wait, really.
I think I'm more excited than he is, slightly more nervous.
You're a bit more apprehensive about it.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm not built for anything like this, if I'm totally honest. I'm not a runner. I'm a walker, but not a runner. But Heather is. You do it for a living, really, don't you?
Yeah. So my job is a fitness instructor. So I belong to a local running club. So it is kind of what I do. But I quite like then to push myself and see what I can achieve, and how far you can push your own body to make an achievement.
No, I like my running, and I'll be doing a 10k tomorrow, but I will not be going to do 52 miles in 2 days. There's a difference between doing running and then doing running.
Yes, there is. This has definitely been one of my bigger challenges. I've trained for ultras before, so anything over a marathon, but I've not done a back-to-back, and I've definitely not done something across the desert before. So this is out of my comfort zone and definitely not something I've done before, but I am looking forward to it.
And just a huge amount of time it takes to train for, and that's sort of what puts me off doing the longer things. I just haven't got the time, but I suppose you've had to find it because you've known you've been doing this since March.
Yes, so one of the reasons for doing this is that before my dad got ill, and I'm doing it for my dad because he had motor neurons and that's what he passed away from, I would talk about doing this run, and he would sort of say, either go and do it or stop talking about it, daughter, one or the other. So when he passed away and I was trying to look for something to do, I was kind of like, right, I'm going to go and do that one and say, see, Dad, I've stopped talking about it and I've actually done it. So we have had time to plan it, but I always say to anybody that's doing something, it's not the event, you will get around the event. It's the time to actually do it, the weekends of training, the getting up, regardless of how tired you are, what the weather's like outside, and putting the miles in, even when you don't want to. But you know that there's a good reason at the end of it. So.
Because it's all about your dad, Jack.
Yes.
So you lost him during the pandemic?
Yes, we lost him 2 years ago, or just over 2 years ago. During the pandemic, so it's never a good time to lose a loved one, but that definitely did not help the situation, with isolating and all of the other things, and not being able to have what we would class as a proper funeral. We did what we could and everyone was wonderful about it, but it has been difficult. And then over the last couple of months, we've also lost my uncle to motor neurons.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it was sort of, so in the family, something that's not supposed to affect that many people has affected my mum
really
and my aunt and my cousins, and my family and my sister and everybody. So it's important that we raise awareness, but do it something that is fun. It's not just, we've had quiz nights. And
of course, because your dad and your uncle as well want you to have fun.
Yes.
And you just know they'd be so proud.
Yeah, so Dad always encouraged me to go running. He was always at my running events, thought I was completely crazy. He didn't understand why I liked it. Was always proud of Darrell, because Darrell isn't built like that way. So he was always, I think, slightly more proud that Darrell was dragged around something. And my uncle, he loved to do climbing. He was into his fitness, into the local area. So, it's kind of the right thing to be doing.
And Darrell, for you, it's about supporting Heather.
It is. Originally, I was never ever meant to be going to the desert.
Now you are.
Now I am. I was literally going to stay in a hotel and stay in a 5-star hotel and have the time of my life. But I wanted to actually support her. I wanted to do it, and actually I wanted to do it for my father-in-law, because he was very proud of the very few occasions I did do any running or anything like that. So. To prove that I'm not the smallest man in the world, but I can do it. So it's going to be tough. I don't know if I'm not very good with the heat. If I'm totally honest with you, I hate it when it's hot.
What sort of temperatures are we talking?
So at the moment, it's sort of around 28 to 29 degrees.
It's not okay.
But it's the humidity as well. People forget that bit. It's 68% humidity out there as well, and that's the bit that's going to be quite hard, especially when you're walking or running, just to be able to breathe, I guess.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough.
This summer it's been a bit weird because you had all these like don't go out in the sun in the middle.
Because it got sort of like 40 degrees, didn't it, in July?
And there's me going, right, so I'm going to go out for a run because this is perfect training.
And what was that like?
Hard going. Yeah, so I'm running with water, changing tops, changing socks. Suddenly I usually have like a little water bottle if I was going out for a 10k run. Yeah, and I've been having like my backpack with my water in it, and
so you've got to have all sorts of sort of kit on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you've got to carry your own water and snacks along the way. So we are doing it with an organised company called Action Challenge, who will be looking after us. So there are other people going out there for other charities. There's another lady that works with Heather at her gym who's doing it for diabetes. So she's coming out as well. And but yeah, they'll be looking after us. So they'll supply us with all of our meals and stuff. But obviously we'll be camping overnight in the desert as well. So we've got to take our own sleeping bag and everything like that. So it's going to be an experience and a half, I think.
And you're running it, and you're walking. Oh gosh, I nearly
don't say that I'm running
there.
it. No, please, scare me.
So you won't be doing it side by side.
No.
So I will on the first day. So we fly out on the Thursday.
Next Thursday.
We fly from Stansted. We fly into Marrakesh, and then we've got about a 9-hour bus journey into the base camp. We'll get briefed, and then it's to bed early, and I think we'll up early, and I will leave about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, you leave earlier than I do.
So all the walkers will leave about an hour before the runners. So we will say goodbye sort of at the camp, which will be weird.
Until you overtake.
Yeah, and then I wave as I go past. Hi, darling, how you doing?
And then, so as Heather said, Heather reckons she'll do it in about 6 hours, the actual run. I'm looking at about 9 hours, I think.
And this is a marathon, isn't it? It's 2 marathons in 2 days.
Yeah, it is.
So I've done a half marathon in London, and I felt awful at the end of it. Like I couldn't move or anything.
Sort of think I couldn't walk another step.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing, we're not going home and staying in a nice bed afterwards. We're sleeping in the sand, technically,
and then getting up and doing it.
And then getting up and doing it again. So it's not going to be an easy feat at all. And we finished the actual marathon, the 52 miles on the sand dunes. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough.
But I do think it will be really picturesque and pretty. You run through some of the villages. You run through. There's a riverbed, and you run through a riverbed, and you run past like the locals. They ask you to be really respectful and everything like that. And then on the last day, the second part is up into the sand dunes and up and over where the finish line is. So I think that while it is going to be tough,
it's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful. I just think it is going to be amazing. So those moments, I'll be kind of thinking, you know what? I'll crawl up it if I have to.
You've got to get it done.
Yeah.
And then you can know you've done something so great for your dad, for your uncle.
Yes.
That's
definitely.
really good. Okay, so we need to get the fundraising, the Just Giving page out there. We'll put that up on Gateway's Facebook and Twitter in the next few moments. And it's all for Motor Neuron Disease Association.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really important that we get that out there. And if people want to follow your journey, there's the YouTube.
Yeah, they can. So we decided that we were going to film the whole experience. So we booked this in March. We decided we were going to do it. And I had the crazy idea of filming the whole experience because it's not easy, just training at the weekends, just going out and doing it and seeing how we've progressed from when we started in March all the way up till now. Even today in the studio we're filming. So we've got about 6 episodes out already on our YouTube channel. And then obviously we will be showing us in the Sahara. So so you can watch it and you can watch the laughter, the pain, the tears, because there are all those.
I'm sure there'll be many.
There's like crossword between the pair of us when we're having a moment.
Yes. So it is funny and it is light-hearted because that is what it's meant to be. It is a light-hearted thing. It is serious why we're doing the challenge, but Jack
we wanted to have fun.
We wanted to have fun because that's what Jack and Heather's uncle would have wanted. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll get that post out in the next few minutes on Gateway's Facebook and Twitter. Thanks so much, Darrell. Thank you, Heather. Really nice to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Gateway 97.8, 10 to 4.
We are doing this Sahara Desert Challenge to raise vital money for Motor Neuron Disease M&D Association. please visit our Just Giving page and search Darrell and Heather to donate. Thank you.